Hello, and let's talk about Lilith. So, let's talk about healing our shadow with Lilith. And Lilith has been for the last few months in Leo. And tomorrow, so Tuesday, the 3rd of October, she will make her last aspect in Leo. And she will be making an aspect with the moon in Taurus. And so we have been working with this ego wound and our self confidence being in Leo. So this last aspect tomorrow is a square. So it's a bit of an uncomfortable aspect because it is wrapping up all of these ideas that we have been dealing with, which have been quite deep sort of ideas in regards to how we present ego and where we might be repressing it and how that could be affecting everything. So with this square tomorrow, it's at 12:19 until 4:03 p.m. is the void moon phase that it's happening in, and just before the moon finishes being void, we will see this aspect. So it's asking us to work with this wounding, these places where we have felt guilt and shame around our ego and our self-confidence, and it's asking us to look at it through this battle energy of a square. So Lilith wants us to see what we have ignored and blocked about the individual glory of who we are. And it wants us to fight back against this energy. And it's this energy of like not wanting to do the work because it's quite uncomfortable. And we live in a world where it is very uncomfortable to fucking love yourself, okay? Because we have been taught that that is wrong. Because, there's a lot of confusion around how loving yourself can be a positive because of all the ideas of ego. And so it wants us to fight back these blockages of how we express ourselves. These blockages that are based in like the rules that society has taught us about how it looks egotistical. So like society's rules, mother's rules, father's rules, these ideas of not trusting in yourself and not having these places of confidence, because that all of that is from ego, which is just completely incorrect, okay? So during this Lilith in Leo, we have been dealing with where in our shadow we have repressed the individual way that we present our self-confidence, and how that idea of repressing our ego and allowing it to project onto others, and where we may have used that projection to condemn them for also shining their light. So the part that we played in somebody else's repression of their ego as well, we've been asked to look at that. So Lilith really brings up kind of the darkness in all of the archetypes. So when we're dealing with Leo, she wants us to really delve deep into where we may have used this repression of our own ego to negatively affect somebody else. And so we are wrapping up this energy, and really we should be really trying to allow ourselves to sit with who we are. So sit with your weird and wonderful and darkness and really take a look at it. So because in this Leo domain where Lilith has been, we want our gifts we want to embrace them, and we want to be able to realize them and see them and affirm them and really bind them to us, like be loyal to them. And it's about seeing your worth, but honestly seeing your worth. So seeing the parts of you that you should be confident in and defending them and letting them shine. Like, so not this idea of what we think is a gift for the world, not this idea of what we think somebody else thinks we have to offer, but something about us that is individual to who we are, something about us that shows us what we have to offer, something real that we can believe in, that we can have confidence in, that is a real confidence, something that we are solid within ourselves with. And we need to, once we find it, we need to defend it, defend it with who we are as a person and let it shine. Give it its space. This is that energy of where we want to feel pride. We want to feel self-confident. And this is that part of us that we want to be able to shine through that sunlight of the Leo archetype. And so with Lilith being in Leo, it's really allowed us to see through the facade of other people as well. And like this idea that they have made up their fake abilities, their places where they think they deserve to shine as well. So while you have to remember, while we are looking at these things in ourselves, it gives us this vision to be able to see it in others. So through these last few months, it's been becoming very obvious to us who isn't shining from a true place of confidence. So the idea of these people who think that because they are glamorous, that because they have these external things that others see as glamorous, that they actually deserve to shine brighter than anybody else. So it's this idea of seeing through this fakeness as well that other people put up. The same thing that we are trying to break through, being able to see that in other people. So as a way of mirroring so that we can see our own placement, but also as a way of clearing out these energies from our lives that are going to block us from moving on. So you may have noticed in your friend group, in your family group, at work, that people who put up this fake, this glamour kind of ideal of what they want you to prop them up for, what they want you to praise them for, and really seeing that that is hollow, that there isn't really any real basis to these things that people are looking for your approval and your praise on. And through being able to do that, we are starting to realize that your true confidence and ego projection has to come from something that you completely believe in, something real. And that these sorts of people who hold up these facades and hold up these fake ideals of what they think other people want them to be good at, want them to project, you know, these ideas. And if you go really external, like these ideas of people who wear the right clothes, who have the right makeup, who have the right hair, who are trying to fit in with these society accepted ideas of what glamorous and successful looks like. And these ideals are what actually blocks us from seeing what we should truly be confident about. And so being able to see that in other people really has been triggering us to see it in ourselves. And it's asking us to really find a place inside of ourselves, in our own dark shadowlands, in our own weird and wonderful way of existing, something that we should be proud of. And that is true confidence. And that cannot be presented egotistical, because if you are sitting in a comfort and you are proud of that individual spark that you have, and the only person that you need the validation from is yourself at the end of the day to be proud that you let that shine, then that can't be presented in a negative, egotistical way. And that is what Lilith in Leo is trying to show us, okay? And it's really brought up very uncomfortable ideas about how we have blocked our own light, okay? About how we have blocked our own gifts and how we have held back from presenting ourselves because of this idea that we are seeing in others of this fakeness being projected. And it's really, if you have done the work, you have really started to see where your inner confidence needs to come from. And it is the dark, weird, and wonderful things about you. It is the things about you that people often misunderstand. And that is the true place that deserves our self-confidence. And Lilith, being the dark goddess energy that she is, you know, she's made us face that inner slayer, okay? That part of us that we refused to praise, that blockage, that wall that we put up because we were worried that people would think that we were egotistical or that we were too strange, like these things about us that like that inner slayer tried to cut out of us. She's made us stand up in our power and look at it. So sit with your energy today. We've got Lilith moving to Virgo tomorrow. So sit with this energy and really, I say write about it, okay? Get your journal out and write down all the weird and dark and wonderful things about yourself everything you can think of that you should praise yourself for, that you should be proud of, and that you should be confident about. So good luck with this one. We are rolling into another energy tomorrow. Never be afraid to walk into your shadow. Stay weird.